All right, welcome back to Correctional Officer Stories with Steve. As always, I'm your host. Thanks for tuning in for another episode. All my Goon Squad, thanks for checking in. All my subs, thanks for watching my content. It's Thursday, January 7th. It says U.S. Capitol secured 4 dead after rioters stormed the halls of Congress to block Biden's win. Let's talk about it. So I know this is everywhere on YouTube and everybody's covering it, but I felt I wanted to give my opinion on this, right? Because it's a disgrace in my opinion. There's a lot of things that I disagree with in America, and this is a big one, right? I watch a few YouTube channels that cover politics pretty heavily. One of them being Officer Tatum, and I actually enjoy a lot of his perspectives. And he's got a lot of good views on things. But I was watching it. He went live yesterday after all this was happening, and they were trying to get it under control. And he used to be a cop down in Tucson, and he's been on several news platforms, and he's got a big platform. He's got well over 1 million subs on YouTube. But anyway, he stated that we should have let the officers should have stepped aside, the uniformed officers, and let these citizens rush the Capitol because as taxpayers, that's our building, right? And we're taxpayers, and we help fund that building and make it operational, and but we don't own that building. Get the hell out of here with that comment. We don't own that building. I don't understand why 2,000 plus Americans decided to rush the Capitol in defense of President Trump trying to block Biden's getting into office. Did anybody think that if there was even that much of a chance that by doing this, it was going to help the situation? Nah, not even close. Trump wasn't going to get in the office. He wasn't going to be able to stop the inauguration on January 20th. He lost by 7 million votes. It's been said that there was cheating. There probably may have been some fraudulent activity. But he lost by a landslide, and he sure as hell lost Georgia. They said more people came out to vote against Trump more than ever. And probably because of this last year in office due to COVID. That's probably one of the biggest reasons he lost. And then Americans just don't like Trump. They think he's a dictator, and they refer him to Hitler, which is ridiculous. If you know the history behind Hitler, Trump ain't no Hitler. All right? He's not even close. Go read that history before you make that comment. But he's a dictator. He's a dictator. He's not a politician. He's not a real Republican. He's not a real Democrat. That doesn't even exist anymore, people. I mean, yesterday was a complete embarrassment to United We Stand, right? I wear this mask. United We Stand. And yesterday proved that's bullshit. You know what I mean? I see a lot of you. I understand the opinions and the perspectives and everything that people talk about the election was rigged and it was this and it was that and it was this and it was that. But there's right ways and wrong ways to go about doing things. And the way that Trump has gone about it has been absolutely absurd. And I voted for Trump. Not because I didn't want Biden in office. I have other beliefs and views on things. And there was some some things I just didn't agree with. Is Trump my favorite person? No. But that's just what it was, right? And I had a feeling Trump wasn't going to win the election because of COVID. And because people just absolutely despise Trump. You know what I mean? Because he says it how he is. We've never had a president to do that. He says it how it is, period. There is no gray area with Trump. He's black or white, period. He tells it how he's very direct, and he has no political type of communication. There is none. He's very direct. But to impede democracy like these thousands of Americans did yesterday, as they're calling it domestic terrorism, and I refer to that because everybody you see on camera and everybody that was in those videos, they're going to use facial recognition, and they are going to slam them to the ground and charge them with domestic terrorism. And then all these clowns that were in this freaking, whatever you want to call it, protest, which it wasn't. It was a freaking act of insaneness. I don't want to call it terrorism because they weren't out there shooting and blasting. 4 people dead, though. So prayers out to those families because that's crazy. I'm telling you, these people are going to go to federal prison, and they are going to be bitching and whining and moaning and in lockdown because they're afraid to be on the yard, and they're going to be in protective custody, and they're going to be bitching behind the years that they just got handed because they fucking held them absolutely accountable and slammed them down. And you can guarantee that they will absolutely hold these people accountable to the fullest extent of the law, 100%. Mark my words, people. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. They will be in federal prison facing or accused of or convicted of domestic terrorism amongst other acts. Taking them selfies on Congress floor and sitting in the Senate where they vote. Get the hell out of here. That selfie just landed your ass in federal prison, homeboy and homegirl. Now what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Cry every day? Because you made it, it was an accident, you were just trying to fight for your country and blah, blah, blah. Get the fuck out of here. Go tell it to somebody else. I'm telling you, go watch Wes Watson. He'll tell you. Little stupid crimes like a bar fight lands you in prison, and then you get to a GP yard and you can't hack it. People, you can't hack prison. You're all big and bad and tough when you got 2,000 people behind you and nobody to defend it. And then when you're on your own in a federal prison facility or a state facility, but this will be federal, you'll be in there crying like a bitch, trust me, over one stupid day that got you nowhere but in trouble with the law, because President Trump is not going to ever be the president ever again. At 2 a.m. this morning, it's official. Biden 304, Trump 242. And I think those were the numbers. I could look it up. He lost by 7 million votes. Whether it was rigged, cheated, whatever, it's done. It's in the books. It's over. We're moving on. You can drop comments. And I know I'm going to get hate for this, and you'll probably lose subscribers. But it's America, people. I can have my opinion, and I can give you my perspective. And I absolutely 100% don't agree with what happened yesterday. You know for a fact that they had several pages of intel that this was probably going to happen. And they were going to storm the Capitol because there were several threats that came in way before Trump even made his speech, with thousands of Americans saying, let's march down to the Capitol. Do you think Trump was there? Fuck no. He went and hid. On Twitter, people go home, but you know, this is what happens when blah, 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 but go home. As he's talking shit, he's telling people to go home. Like, come on, man. Come on. Go watch Officer Tatum and see his perspective on this. Step aside, uniformed officers, and let them impede democracy? Doesn't make sense to me. You can tell me, you can give me any type of view on it. It just doesn't make sense to just go do acts of recklessness and, as they're saying, domestic terrorism. It's embarrassing. This is America, man. This isn't freaking a third world country where they act crazy and there is no any type of government or democracy. You know what I mean? I understand that governments, there's a lot of shit that goes on, especially coming from a law enforcement background. There's a lot of things that go on that people would just never want to know. Trust me. Just like drugs and the DEA agents and FBI, there's a lot of on the take type of shit, and there's just all kinds of shit going on. And there always will be. But to do what you did yesterday is just out of control. It's out of line. Because it didn't make it any better. It made it way worse. Trump's trying to stay in office so he doesn't get charged with all these crimes that they're accusing him of. He was trying to pardon himself, because if they charge him now, they criminally charge him now while he's still in office, he can pardon himself. Once he gets out, they're going to charge his ass, because he absolutely has some for sure tax issues. He owes probably $400 million, which he can pay that quickly. But there's a lot of other things that they're investigating him on other than just tax fraud. So I don't know. It's just a shame. It really is. You know, as I look at this, you know, right away a woman was shot dead in the riots. You know, God bless her. God bless her family. You know what I mean? It's just, it says breached one of the most iconic American buildings, engulfing the nation's capital in chaos after Trump urged his supporters to fight against the ceremonial counting of the electoral votes that will confirm President-elect Joe Biden's win. Nice job, Trump. Great way to represent America. Excellent. Fucking narcissist. Plain and simple. He's a narcissist. You can agree to disagree or disagree, whatever. It's my opinion. It's my perspective. We can have conversation about it if you want. Reach out to me. Look up the definition of a narcissist. It's Trump. It's what he is. You know what I mean? It's what he is. He cannot accept defeat. It is killing him inside. And he also knows that he's in big trouble as he exits the office. Then he puts a statement out yesterday, or early this morning, that it will be a smooth transition January 20th. There will be it'll be peaceful, blah, blah, blah. You've already made it chaotic, and we knew that was coming, right? We knew that was coming. I just don't agree with yesterday. I don't. I think it's ridiculous for Americans to do that, because once they have to face up to their actions, they're going to be in prison acting like little bitches. Trust me, I've seen it all the time. These clowns get into a little bar fight, they assault somebody, break their nose or whatever, hold them at gunpoint or pull a gun on them. Now they're facing 5 to 10 years, and they're constantly in lockdown, asking to get off the yard, PCing up, because they can't hack it. They can't do it. They can't do the time. Don't do the crime. Because now you're going to have to face up to it. You know what I mean? For all them little selfies that you thought were cool, you're going to be doing time. Some of you guys will be able to do it because you're crazy. But the majority of you won't. So good luck. Good luck to that. On top of the thousands and thousands of dollars that you'll owe, that you'll never be able to pay. But you'll owe it in back restitution if you ever get out. So I don't know, man. Crazy. It's crazy that they even let that happen, knowing that this could possibly happen. They should have already had the FBI there, the National Guard, multiple agencies. They just had the Capitol Police and maybe some other surrounding agencies and anybody else in law enforcement that could respond. It took hours for response to get there. This was poorly planned, and probably purposely poorly planned. You know for a fact Trump had something to do with that. He is a powerful man. That is a fact. And he has proven that time and time again. Just not powerful enough to get back into the presidency. That's about it. I don't know. But going forward, I hope things get better. We got enough to worry about. We still got this plandemic, as I say, whatever you want to call it. It's still there. It's just getting out of control. Then we have this yesterday. That's probably one of the worst things in American history, other than 9/11. And some of these tornadoes and things that have just ripped across the state of Louisiana. It's just absolute unnecessary chaos. You know what I mean? And it says, my mask says, united we stand. I won't be wearing that no more. But I don't know, people, if you're going to go out in the public, you better be ready and get ready to be armed. And I tell my 101 all the time, if they start coming into the neighborhoods like they did yesterday in the thousands, what are you going to do? Are you prepared? Do you have defense mechanisms set in place to protect against thousands of rioters coming into the streets and neighborhoods? Do you? I'm telling you, I'm firing off every round. If my life is in danger and if I have my grandkids here, obviously my wife will be here, my life's in danger, I'm defending myself. You can believe that. Be like Red Dawn. Then I'm just going to bounce up into the mountains and just camp out. Go buy Cabela's, get everything I can. No, I don't know. But be prepared, because it could turn to this. It could definitely turn to this. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's just crazy. I'm gonna get some hate for this. But I don't know how you people could agree with this. Especially if you're a Trump supporter. How could this possibly make it any better? Peaceful protests, maybe, but absolute chaos, and you get into the Capitol? Doesn't do any good, people. Doesn't do any good. It makes you a fucking traitor. That's what it does. It makes you, I don't know. It says here, shortly after 1 p.m. Wednesday, hundreds of pro-Trump protesters pushed through barriers set up along the perimeter of the Capitol, where they tussled with officers in full riot gear, some calling the officers traitors for doing their jobs. About 90 minutes later, police said demonstrators got into the building and the doors to the House and Senate were being locked. Shortly after, the House floor was evacuated by police. Vice President Mike Pence was also evacuated from the chamber, where he was to perform his role on counting of electoral votes. Trump's done. It's over. It's over. I mean, you'll probably see him announce that he's going to run again, but he ain't never going to get in office again. I'll be surprised. Well, I won't be, actually. I mean, shit. Nothing surprises me nowadays, especially after yesterday. It's crazy. It's crazy, people. But anyway, drop a comment, drop a like. I know I'm going to get some hate. You're going to disagree with me and think it damn sure should have been done. But you all know that when it's not peaceful, it amounts to no good, right? It doesn't get you anywhere but in trouble. It doesn't get us anywhere. It doesn't solve any type of problems. Chaos does not solve problems, as we've seen over and over and over again, and as you have been raised, hopefully, knowing right from wrong. Have a good one, people. Peace.